The laughter hit me first, sharp and cutting through the low hum of keyboards on that Monday morning in our downtown Chicago office at Apex Financial Services. I had just set down my travel mug of black coffee, badge still warm from the security scanner at the lobby turnstiles, when I noticed the bright orange sticky note dominating the center of my monitor. "Loser," screamed in thick black Sharpie. All caps, double underlined like a kid's angry doodle. The tape edges were still tacky. Derek Lang leaned casually against the partition of the adjacent cubicle, arms crossed, wearing that half-smirk he perfected for moments like this. He was the new department lead, mid-30s, always in slim-fit shirts and designer sneakers. The kind of guy who quoted LinkedIn articles about hustle culture between his morning Peloton rides. A couple of the younger analysts, Jenna with her quick snort laugh, Cody slapping his thigh, joined in, their amusement spreading like ripples in the open-plan floor. I felt the eyes on me from across the glass-walled meeting rooms. No one admitted to it. Of course. Derek shrugged when our gazes met. All in good fun. "Ethan, lighten up." But I didn't flinch. I reached out, peeled the note off in one smooth motion, folded it precisely in half, and slid it into my top drawer without a word. Then I powered on my computer, entered my password with steady fingers, and opened the first compliance dashboard of the day. The laughter faded awkwardly into keyboard clacks. Inside my chest, though, a slow burn ignited, not hot rage, but a cold, precise focus. I'd been with Apex for 9 years. Longer than almost anyone on this floor except a couple of admins. Back when we still used physical file folders and coded vendor lists on spreadsheets. I had architected the automated reporting systems, the audit trails, the integration layers that kept our multi-million-dollar compliance operations running smoothly. Derek liked to call people like me legacy assets in his all-hands meetings, said with a wink that made the 20-somethings chuckle. He was all about optics, flashy slides, buzzwords, Slack threads full of acronyms. His crew of young hires worshipped him like he'd invented efficiency. That note wasn't harmless banter. It was the first visible crack in a campaign I'd sensed building for months, missing me from key invites, restricted document access, public jabs disguised as jokes. They wanted me uncomfortable enough to leave voluntarily. No severance, no fuss. I'd seen it happen to others before. The rest of that morning passed in heavy silence around me. Colleagues avoided eye contact when passing my desk. I sat straighter, typing methodically, exporting access logs and screenshots into a personal encrypted folder on my external drive. My breathing stayed even. No one noticed the subtle shift in my posture, the way my eyes lingered longer on certain emails. By afternoon, the freeze-out had begun in earnest. The weekly stand-up happened without my calendar invite. When I asked about it later, Derek waved it off. Just core team sync this time. Nothing major. But it happened again the next day. And the day after. Conversations died when I approached the break room. Jenna suddenly critiqued my reporting cadence in a group thread. Cody helpfully walked me through my own workflow in a review meeting, speaking slowly like I was new. I didn't push back. That wasn't my style. Instead, I documented every skipped invite, every permission change, every overwritten data point in the dashboards. Someone had tampered with my sources, formulas broken, historicals mismatched, patched clumsily with hard-coded numbers. I flagged it professionally. The reply? A meme about surviving Mondays. Internally, the drop in my stomach from that first laugh had settled into something sharper. I remembered building these systems when the company was smaller, before dashboards and bots. These kids just inputted data and smiled at the outputs. They had no clue how fragile it all was if the wrong thread got pulled. That orange note had been their mistake, the thread that could unravel everything. I left the office that evening with my bag heavier from the drive, mind already mapping the next steps. The dignity of silence wasn't weakness. It was preparation. The isolation deepened over the following weeks like a slow fog rolling in off Lake Michigan. Derek's impromptu hallway huddles grew louder, filled with startup lingo and empty motivation speeches about rebuilding from the ground up and phasing out dead weight. The young team laughed too eagerly, their energy matching his. I kept showing up, kept delivering my work silently from my corner desk. But the air had changed. People looked away when I passed. Slack threads went quiet. One Thursday, I noticed my working files permissions had been altered, team edit access revoked without notice. Updates now went out only as locked PDFs. Timestamped. I started BCCing key recipients on routine emails, legal, corporate compliance, even a director of oversight whose name I recognized from past projects. Paranoia? No. Building a record. Derek swaggered more, announcing culture resets and new seating charts with not-so-subtle hints about reallocating responsibilities. His voice carried across the bullpen. I caught the brief twitch in my own jaw once, but it passed. Calculation, not reaction. Then came the discovery that confirmed everything. Digging into archived expense reports during a quiet afternoon, I uncovered irregularities from a supposed vendor engagement trip to Las Vegas 2 months earlier. Scout Dynamics, a company that, upon quick internal search, had no verifiable contract history matching the claims. Receipts showed luxury stays at the Bellagio, rooftop bar tabs exceeding thousands, room service charges, Ubers bouncing between venues, all filed under team building and vendor relations without proper finance approvals or detailed itineraries. Worse, Slack threads from the group chat, meant to be private, had screenshots and jokes, photoshopped images of Derek at roulette tables, captions about Vegas scouting baby, even tasteless references to creative consultants. I screenshotted, archived, cross-referenced against company policy sections on conduct, expense reimbursement, and conflicts. Every file clean, cold, timestamped. No emotional levels. I changed more permissions. Sent locked updates. My external drive grew heavier with folders. The 47 expenditures, Slack exports, policy violations. Derek clapped backs and fist bumped upon returning from such trips, reeking of cologne masking something sharper. He asked me once for a small favor, recreate some supporting docs for finance. You know how messy the system is. I looked up calmly. I wasn't on the trip. Wouldn't feel right submitting unverifiable info. His blink was quick, covered by a chuckle, but I saw the flicker. The office felt tighter. Whispers replaced open chatter. Derek pushed Q4 priorities, code for potential layoffs dressed in corporate speak. His left eye twitched when glancing my way. I stayed steady, posture straighter, Slack status set to focus. No interruptions came. By now, the young team sent something off. Jenna stopped posting memes. Cody asked quietly if channel histories could be purged. I watched it all, hands steady on the keyboard, coffee cooling beside me. The note had been the spark. What they didn't realize was that every laugh, every exclusion, every tampered file was now evidence. I wasn't angry. I was finished waiting. The game had shifted, and they hadn't noticed the rules change. Tension thickened like the humid Chicago summer air outside our sealed windows. The Vegas trip details consumed my off hours. Cross-referencing card charges, itineraries, and policy manuals revealed clear violations, no pre-approvals. Personal charges mixed with business, unverified vendor legitimacy, combined with Slack banter about excess. It painted a picture of misuse. I compiled the final package over a weekend at my apartment in Lincoln Park, spreadsheets annotated, hyperlinks to policies, Access logs exported.
No flair.
Just precision. Monday. After the floor emptied slightly, I drafted the email. Subject: flagged irregularities in Q3 vendor expenses, subsidiary review. Recipients included internal compliance, oversight operations director, and a senior risk contact. Attachments: the 4 PDFs. I hit send without ceremony, minimized Outlook, sipped my coffee, and returned to the quarterly report. The match had landed on the fuse. Surface normalcy held for a day or two. Derek paced louder, talking right-sizing and culture realignment. But I saw him avoid my corner. Then the echo arrived, a forwarded corporate message acknowledging receipt. Soft but unmistakable. Legal's shadow passed through. Slack statuses flipped to Do Not Disturb. Old threads vanished. Derek joked about compliance housekeeping and huddles, but his voice edged higher. HR conveniently scheduled training. Whispers replaced laughs. A marketing guy furiously deleted memes, including one featuring Derek at Caesar's Palace. Derek called me into a quick chat. Too upbeat. About that note, dumb joke. Water under the bridge. I replied smoothly. Of course.
No gracias.
I'll be working remote more next week if that's okay. His forced smile tightened. He retreated to his office for an hour. I transferred files to secure cloud storage. Posture surgical. The balance had tipped. The first formal memo from parent company oversight requested detailed reporting. Travel validations. Full access logs. Tone, sterile but commanding, an audit with teeth. Derek paled, hunched over emails, begging finance and HR for backfills.
No replies.
The office buzzed with restrained panic. Keyboards clacked harder. Shoulders tensed. I remained untouchable at my desk.
Calm.
The second memo hit midweek. Subsidiary realignment, interim advisory measures. Visibility locked quickly. But we glimpsed scrubbed org charts. No more dotted lines to Derek. His name vanished from systems. Then the global announcement. Martin No. In my new version, Ethan Harper, appointed special advisor to oversight, ethics, and continuity risk at parent holdings. Hit the elite list. No photo.
No fluff.
Derek froze mid-keystroke, lips moving silently. Realization washed over him. I packed my laptop quietly and left without fanfare. Rumors solidified. Vegas violated conduct policies. Forensic reviews began. Threads became grenades. Derek showed up in khakis. Energy huddles gone. Eye contact avoided. Monica Haynes, Senior Integrity Director, flew in. Private conference, room meeting. I caught phrases. Cooperation. Liability. Bond clauses impacting multiple regions. Not fairness, money. She leaned in. Voice low. Broader implications if escalated. I replied evenly. The audit decides now. Resignation in her nod. By afternoon, Derek's status went out of office. Desk cleared by evening. The cold email announced extended leave. Inquiries to interim leads. Floor silent.
No jokes.
No eye contact among the pranksters. I signed off calmly. Final notes logged. 1 month later, the office felt different, sterile, procedural, respectful. Badge readers updated. Corner office empty. Most of Derek's inner circle reassigned or let go under optimization. New interim director from Denver sent bullet point emails at 7 a.m.
No emojis.
My role shifted fully remote as advisor. Bio updated quietly. A plain package arrived at my home. Sleek black badge with gold microchip. Parent company seal. Title confirming internal ethics and risk. I held it, nodded once, placed it beside my keyboard. No gloating. The quiet dismantled the structure through proof. not spite. They underestimated the patient man who kept receipts. Silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. In the end, the loser sign became the last thing pinned on him. What lingers is the question: how often do we laugh along with cruelty until the quiet one speaks through the system? Justice arrived. But at what cost to the office culture we allowed? The building looks the same, but the air remembers.